I'm battling with this little nook here. I'm sailing closed hauled and I'm hauling, but I'm making 2.5, 2.7. But unfortunately I can't run any higher, and there's this little nook here that I have to go. After the nook I can fall off, and there is a bunch of breakers there, so I'm trying to make it. Well, the wind vane is trying to make it. We're trying to make it around the corner.
This morning I lifted anchor in Puerto Angel, embarking on a 200 nautical mile solo passage to Acapulco. Shortly after leaving the bay, I hoisted the sails and set up the wind vane to make the most of the gentle breeze. My sailboat Karl moved effortlessly through the water, and I watched countless sea turtles surface beside us, and rays leap out of the water, crashing back down with a loud splash.
This is what I call happy sailing.
To be honest, I wasn't looking forward to this solo passage at all. The thought of spending 2 days, mostly motoring, had me in a bit of a funk. But as I sat on the little bench at the stern, surrounded by the open sea, I realized just how happy I was. Being out there with Karl and Boga, soaking it all in, I couldn't help but think, what a life.
I had seen this wind in the forecast, and I had hoped that I was going to be able to sail it, but it's not a lot. It's like 7 to 8, maximum 10, but it's just perfect. But I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to come that way and if it was going to come at the right angle. You know, and then sometimes on paper it looks sailable, and then, because sometimes also, you know, you're like, oh yeah, I'm sure I can sail that, because one is being optimistic and hopeful, and then you're there and it's actually, you know, can't do the angle that you thought you could do. But right now I can, more or less. I mean, depending, if the current is going to push us more inland, then at some point we have to go further out. But right now, I'm taking what I can, and I'm happy about it. This is a nice start. I'm very grateful. Very, very grateful.
It's been a smooth night. We have another 130 miles to go. There was hardly any wind. 6 knots on the nose, if even. Sea state is super lovely, like nearly non-existent, which is awesome. We've been pretty close to land because I've been talking to some fishermen who had told me that the long lines that they use here, that lots of people complain about, that they foul their props, they usually put them out 15 miles or further during the night. So I didn't see any. And also this stretch of land that I'm crossing right now seems to be not really populated. At the beginning there was a lot of lights on shore, but now, like the second half of the night, it was pretty pitch dark. So I don't think there's much happening on land, which might be, or is probably another reason for not so many fishing nets for long lines. Boga always sleeps on the same cockpit bench as I do, and it's not that much room. So at one point I tried to go to the other bench, and I lay down there. 2 minutes later she woke up, but she realized I'm not there, so she started barking. So I come back. So I did get some rest. I did 20 minutes of sleep at a time, and then I do my checkings, and yeah, fortunately my body is taking that pretty well. Probably gonna do another round, maybe another hour of cat naps, and then I'm gonna get up and make some coffee and start my day.
The passage so far has actually been quite uneventful. I've had to do a bit of motoring due to the lack of wind, and with not much to do in terms of sailing, I've been passing the time by playing with my doggy Boga, writing a bit, meditating, reading, doodling on my uke, taking many cat naps, and of course, more playtime with little Boga. It's fascinating how sometimes days at sea can feel never-ending, and other times time just flies by. And before I knew it, I was already enjoying the second sunrise of my journey to Acapulco. Good morning, everyone! It's the second morning here on my passage from Puerto Angel to Acapulco. It's really foggy, and there's something in the fog which I assume is a fishing boat, but I'm not quite sure. It looks really big and bulky. I can't really make out what it is. The sun is just coming up and it's really pretty. It's super cold though. It's super cold and kind of like wettish. I'm wearing 2 sweaters and I'm also wearing some woolen socks. So yeah, it's cold. It's another 25 miles to go. I really hope that I'm not going to run into a fishing net on the last meters. So, whatever that guy is, whatever he's doing, I hope I'm not going to run into whatever he's doing. Holy moly! Talking about a huge city. Wow. Well, some of you might remember that there has been a hurricane striking here in Acapulco last year, which was pretty devastating and pretty sad. And as a result of that, there is a lot of sunken boats in this bay, so it's not recommended to anchor, which is why I decided to take up the advice of some cruiser friends who have used a guy called Vicente that is renting out some moorings here in the bay. And I'm just puttering into the bay right now. I'm gonna take a turn to port side in a bit, and I've got 2 lines prepared on the bow. First, I only prepared 1. I wanted to put my snubber on the mooring ball, just because then I have a little bit of more stretch. But then I realized that it's not such a good idea for taking off, because if it's on the snubber, then you have to make a bowline on the line of the mooring. So I prepared a second line to give to Vicente that just goes through the mooring line and then back to my boat, like a bridle that I'm gonna put on first, and then I have time to put on the snubber later on if I wanted to. And then if I leave, I can just, take the snubber off, leave the bridle on, and then just release the bridle and pull it through. And I just wrote Vicente that I'm coming in, so I hope he's going to come out to the boat. I'm not really sure if I have to pick the mooring up myself or he's going to come with the panga to help me, so I'm preparing myself for picking up. I haven't picked up a mooring ball since a while. Balboa? Maybe? No. Ecuador. Yeah. Foggy Are we nearly there? Yeah? Alrighty, I was told a boat would come out called La Iguana and they'll guide me to my mooring. They're gonna pass me the line of the mooring ball directly, so I took my lines off. So let's see how that goes. You did fabulous, everyone. Everyone did fabulous. Whew. Oh, little doggy. I think first thing we're gonna do is bring the little doggy on shore. You ready, Boga? She's like, I've been ready since 48 hours, dude. Are we gonna go? Are we gonna go land? Yeah? Are we gonna go land?